What's up, y'all? My name is Sweetie. If you are a new watcher, hey girl, hey. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Wait, I said that so wrong. What's up, y'all? My name is Tweety. If you are... Y'all, I done forgot my own intro. You know what? What's up, y'all? My name is Sweetie. Hey, if you are a new watcher, hey girl, welcome to the channel. Over here, we do lifestyle, we do business stuff. We talk about being a cosmetologist, an esthetician, a wax specialist. I do a little bit of everything over here. Guys, on today's video, we're gonna be switching it up. And I'm going to be talking about, is it worth being a esthetician or a cosmetologist in 2026? Because as y'all know, I see this all the time. I even say to myself, so I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, when people are always saying like the esthetician and cosmetology field is so oversaturated now because everybody is pretty much just going into this field, pretty much trying, like, the end goal. A lot of people want to be like their own boss. So I am here to set the record straight on, do I think that being a esthetician or a cosmetologist is worth it in 2026? So if y'all are interested in this video, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, girl. And yeah, let's go ahead and just get right into the video. So give y'all a quick background story. If you heard this story, because I talk about it all the time, it's just a part of my journey. But if you heard this story, go ahead and skip past this. But I am from Mobile, Alabama. I have a business called Skin Mogul. Funny thing about this was I was not expecting to get back into the cosmetology field. I became a cosmetologist back in, I think it was 2023 if I'm not mistaken. No, it was way before then. I became a cosmetologist in 2021. Damn, time be flying. But anyways, I worked in my field for like 3 years on and then 2 years off, because at the moment I was singing the same tunes as everybody else, and I was like, bro, it's just no way I can see myself being a cosmetologist. Like, the jobs that I was getting was shitty. I couldn't see myself branching out my own business. I was legit just like, you know what, this ain't for me. Stopped working as a cosmetologist for 2 years. Wound up getting pregnant with my daughter. And at that time, I was actually... Oh, I thought something fell on me. I was actually in school. Like, I went back to school and everything. I thought that I was either going to become a PTA, which is a physical therapy assistant, or I thought that I was going to become a sonographer, ultrasound tech. But I wound up getting pregnant with my daughter, and everybody kept asking me like, are you gonna finish school? Like, what you gonna do? Like, yada 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 yada. And I'm like, well, I still have my cosmetology license, so if all is failed, hey, I'm a cosmetologist, I can easily get back into the field or whatever. And that's exactly what I did, and I'm so grateful that I did, because it's almost like I had a full circle moment. And I started working at this job called LA Bikini. I worked there before. I did a story time on them and everything. That job was horrible. When I say horrible, I mean horrible. Like, the owner, the original owner, girl, he was a scammer. He was a scammer. That man was paying us through Cash App. And it got to a point he started to pay us when he felt like it. I don't come to work when I feel like it, so you're not about to pay me when you feel like it. Baby, I never had to run down on anybody about my paycheck, so I wound up quitting because I'm like, you know what, whatever. But anyways, I wound up going back to this job again, but I was on Indeed and I saw that they were like under new ownership. So that was like the first question I asked when they interviewed me. I was like, hey, is it the same owner? And the girl kind of like laughed. She was like, no, we're under new ownership. So when I came back, everything was like being ran correctly. I mean, it was still some shit going on, but it was like apples and oranges. I worked there for like 6 months, and then after that, it was so much going on between like me and my boyfriend, so I had to like quit my job and start my business prematurely. And that's when Skin Mogul was like born, y'all. Skin Mogul was born, and can y'all believe it? It's coming up on a year since I've been a business owner. It's so crazy. I started off with 20 little bitty old clients, and I grew my clientele base from like 20 clients to over now 141 clients. So the grand question y'all are probably waiting on is, do I think that the cosmetology and the esthetician field is still worth getting into? Yes. I always tell people, when you decide to be a cosmetologist or an esthetician, whether you go into business for yourself or you go work at a franchise, not even a franchise, you just go work up under somebody, this the type of field what you put in is what you get out. Literally, the effort you put into this field is what you get out. Now, granted, you probably are going to run across some shitty ass jobs, because that was the problem that I was having in the beginning when I was like fresh into the cosmetology field. I just kept running across like shitty ass jobs. But honestly speaking, if you find a job that's like decent, if you don't ever want to like run your business and be a solo esthetician, a solo cosmetologist, and you just want to work at a job, if you can find a pretty good job, it's still the same thing. Like literally, what you put, the effort you put into like building up your clientele base, that's when you will really receive like the fruits of your labor. And do not get it twisted. To become an esthetician or a cosmetologist, it only take a year. So it's almost like it's smoke and mirrors, because it's like it's only a year program. That means every single year there are cosmetologists and estheticians that are getting pumped out into this field. But y'all, it's only a small percentage of cosmetologists and estheticians that actually make it in this field and can actually call this a career. Take it from myself. I worked in my field for like a year and a half, and then after that I was like, fuck it, like this is too much. It's not for me. It literally took me spinning the block just to see like, okay, if I just stick it out and thug it out and really like put in the effort, like it's really worth being a cosmetologist and an esthetician. It's just what you put into it. That's the facade that I feel like social media kind of play a part in that, because when you get on social media and you see all of these estheticians and cosmetologists like promoting their business, it may look like, I don't think I can do this shit. Like, I really don't think that I can be an esthetician or a cosmetologist, but that's literally like smoke and mirrors, because as fast as people are becoming like cosmetologists and estheticians, it's just as fast as they are turning around and like closing down shop, closing down their businesses, or just like quitting altogether. Like they don't want to be a cosmetologist or an esthetician no more. So y'all probably wondering like, well, how did you crack the code on becoming entering back into the field and like really putting your right foot forward and building up your business? Y'all, I'm gonna just tell y'all, it takes time. It honestly just takes time, and it really just, you gotta have a strategy. When I first branched out, it was so slow for me, so slow to the point I wasn't about to like quit my business, but I picked up a part-time job at Massage Envy doing facials, because my business did not take off until like, let me see, August, September, October, November. It probably took 5 months for me to like really like lock in, or in order for my business to grow. And especially if you want to be a solo cosmetologist or a solo esthetician, you are going to have to market like nobody's business. When I say nobody's business, and I mean nobody's business, because nobody else is showing up for you. Now, when you're working for a company, when you're working for a franchise, they have a built-in marketing system to where all you got to do is show up. Y'all don't mind, that's Uno over there, of course. All you gotta do is show up. You got that built-in clientele base. But when you decide that you want to be your own boss, all of the chips fall on you. So either you're going to sink or swim. So I really just became strategic with my marketing strategy, and I started to study other they didn't even have to be wax specialists. I just started to study other service providers in general, and what it all comes down to is that you just gotta know how to market. So I got my ass on TikTok and I started to become strategic with my marketing strategies, besides just telling people that I was a wax specialist, because one thing about social media is all about the algorithm. Like, you really have to be specific about what you want to put out into like social media, because that what you say, what you type in is what is going to spit out to like the audience. So I was only telling people that I was a wax specialist. I had a really turning moment in my business when I started to become strategic and tell people that, hey, not only am I a wax specialist, but I'm a wax specialist that's located in Mobile, Alabama. So when you tell social media, let's just say TikTok, because that's where I market the heaviest at, is TikTok. So I was only telling on TikTok that I was a wax specialist, so it's going to spit out that I'm a wax specialist to everywhere. I do not need clients from Atlanta. I don't need clients from Houston. I don't need clients from LA. I need clients that are based in Mobile or the surrounding areas. So I started to become strategic and tell TikTok like, hey, I'm a wax specialist that specializes in hard wax and sugaring, and I'm located in Mobile, Alabama. Once when I legit started to become strategic and marketing, baby, the sky was the limit. I had 2 videos that blew up on TikTok. One of them had over 20K, if I'm not mistaken. One of them had 20K and the other one had 10K. And from there, I built up my clientele base. Now, as of lately, I haven't been going as hard, which I kind of need to start back, because I can kind of tell like my clients, it started to become like a little bit stagnant. Like, I'm still getting booked, but I'm just not going as heavy as I once was. But I need to start back, because once when you start to become too comfortable, that's when you start to like you get too lost in the sauce. Once when you start to become too comfortable and you think that, okay, now that I built myself up to a certain type of clientele base, I don't have to go as hard no more. No, because one thing about clients is like a revolving door. All them clients that you probably received in the beginning, not all of those clients are going to stick to you or stick with you, or they may just come for a season. So you always want to make sure that you are heavily promoting yourself. I guess that's the main thing to being like a cosmetologist or an esthetician. You literally have to be your biggest cheerleader in order to get yourself out there. Even if you're not, let's just say you don't own your own business and you're working at a franchise, or you're working at somebody's salon, at somebody's spa, the same thing still pertains towards you. It's just different, because you do already have that set clientele base, because you're working up under somebody. You still gotta have that same motivation, because guess what? If you're a lazy cosmetologist or a lazy esthetician that's working up under somebody and you're calling out every other day, you don't want to work weekends. You don't really like, you're not going to be able to grow a clientele base, because you're still not showing up for yourself. So don't just think because you're working at a spa, you're working at a franchise, because I've worked at franchises myself and I saw my fellow co-workers where some of us didn't have the same type of clientele base, but at the same time, it was because like some of my co-workers, they did not want to show up for work. Literally, they didn't want to work weekends. They had a nasty attitude. Like, clients, of course, not gonna book with you because you don't have that availability or you don't have that personality. Like, both of those gotta go hand in hand in this type of field. Like, you gotta have the personality, you gotta have the technique, and you also you just gotta have that drive in you. And nobody can really like instill that in you. You either got it or you don't. So to answer your question, do I feel like being a cosmetologist is still worth it in 2026? Yes, it's just what you make it. What you put out is what you get in. Well, did I say that right? Yeah, what you put out, no. Yeah. Anyways, y'all, what you put out is what you get. Anyways, you guys, this was like a quick video. I just wanted to get on here and just share my story and share my experience as a cosmetologist who went from working at franchises to working now for myself. Do I feel like it's still worth being an esthetician or a cosmetologist in 2026? Yes, I do. But anyways, if y'all enjoyed this video, please do not forget to give it a like, comment in the comment section down below, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Talk to y'all later.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life moves fast when you do what you want. At this time, doing what I want.